Let's talk about preparing for the next Tier 0 format. Make sure you guys smash the link, crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome. We're going to be starting off over here with Yubel, and it feels like Konami has been grooming Yubel to be the deck that they want to win Worlds this year. You know, I guess what more famous way than, letting, Snake Eyes have its domination out here with everything, and then drop this big, crazy support line in here with Phantom, allowing it to be legal for Worlds. And they're kind of pushing this deck with all of its support kind of unchecked out here, allowing this deck to kind of evolve into this really crazy monster out here. Now, there's nothing wrong with Konami trying to create and push this deck, but the question comes down to, with all of this, is Yubel, going to be the next Tier 0 deck? I mean, heading into Worlds here, it does have two very interesting challengers, but, for those of us on the TCG side, should we be picking up this deck and preparing for the madness that's to come? Well, we'll answer that after this message from today's sponsor. We got our new FlexiSpot C7 chair in today, and I'm not going to lie to you, this thing is actually pretty nice. This is much different than the chairs we've actually had in the office. We've had the eWin ones for quite a little while for the gaming experience, but we needed something to actually support and make life a little bit easier on us here. And I'm not going to lie, this lumbar support that we have on the back of this is actually fantastic. My friend was over here over the course of the weekend and sat in this bad boy and was like, oh my gosh, this is so fancy. I'll showcase this here in a little bit, but the fact that this chair allows you the ease to actually sit in, have the adjustable back, be able to sit at crazy angles out here for relaxation, standard, and working is actually kind of nice. And the fact here, well, first of all, this adjustable headrest on the back is an absolute win. The fact that the lumbar support actually allows you to, adjust it, and the whole chair is made out of mesh material here. Actually, this is the first time I've actually had a chair made out of mesh. It's actually kind of nice. I didn't actually think I was going to like that out here. And depending on, whether or not you're going to be gaming, relaxing, or doing anything in the office that you might need to do, I think this chair actually is going to be a fantastic fit out here as well. Now, if you are interested in getting one of these. Now, discount code C730 on the FlexiSpot website is going to help you save on your purchase if you're interested in picking up one of these beautiful chairs. To get the chance to have another piece in the office out here. That way we can actually have this and be able to, hey, have friends over so we can expand the gaming experience. So I'll leave a link down below to the FlexiSpot website so that you guys can actually check this out and get your own chair today. If you're interested in picking up your chair, discount code will be down below along with everything that you need. So this video was called, preparing for Tier 0. I've been pretty vocal about the Phantom of Yubel stuff and the price tags that these cards have been pushing out here, reaching these $70 thresholds. Actually, I believe as of filming this, we've actually retraced back, and I think we're at 59 to 60. Nightmare Thrones are going to cost you, what, 30 to 40? Depending on where you can get them. Spirits are going to cost you a little bit of money as well, but, I mean, does this deck live up to, its domination? Is this a Tier 0 deck? I think it's a very strong Tier 1 deck, especially with the Fiendsmith coming in here as well. We cannot underestimate this deck's evolution heading on into the next set here, with all of this Fiendsmith stuff being dropped into this. We're evolving the concept of Yubel into this Fiendsmith pile, aka Fiend Toolbox. And I think that's where the craziness unfolds with this engine, because that's going to be your real problem. The Fiendsmith package gets you all these extenders, can get you access to Beatrice / the Wave King Kaiser. You have your big rank 10. You have the Phantom of Yubel to rewrite those monster effects. You also have Yubel that if you're in an ignorant game state, that you can reflect that key damage back at your opponent via those battle phases, and
it creates basically Konami's way of going, we have perfected this. We've given the deck huge negates. We've given them battle phase, reflection, and we've given them floaters. And I think that's why Konami's pushing this deck so hard to be this, what they want to be, extremely strong competitor near the, I guess tier 0 line is what it feels like they're pushing. If they continue to roll back the rest of the decks, and, Yubel kind of starts to get this presence, well, I mean, then that just means it's infinite Yubel mirrors out here. And I don't feel like that's where Konami wants to take the game at this point. That's a big thing to think about out here. Unlike the Snake Eyes mirror matches out here, which all are tolerable, I feel like the Fiend Box matchups aren't that entertaining to watch. But I think Yubel, depending on how a couple key ban lists could go, and if they do continue to get more support out here, Konami could be having this deck set up to be the apex master of the food chain. And I do mention tier 0 because depending on those ban list changes, you could see this deck sitting on the top of the food chain as one of the most destructive forces in the room. So should you rush out and pick up all of this Yubel stuff, it's a costly deck to build right now. 120 in Thrones, 120 in the extra deck, not even mentioning the other sub-engines, and probably 300 on Fiendsmith cards. You're looking at almost $1,000 deck. Now, what about Snake Eyes over here? Should you be doing the opposite out here? Should you be throwing your Snake Eyes cards in the dumpster going, oh, its time is over. We're done with this. Konami has had enough with this. So this is actually kind of interesting. The last wave of support for the Snake Eyes stuff, we've kind of gone past we're going to push the pure build. Now you've kind of started deviating more into the lore. You might toss a one of like Diablaze into this, but the wanted, the Dia Bellstar, the bonfires, the core structure of what is intact right now for the tier 0 build, I don't see them tossing very much more into this, except for, maybe they could toss another staple into this. Mulcharmy is coming. That's another big thing. Mulcharmy against this, a normal Snake Eyes Ash, into a Pobbler, that's a draw 2 for the Mulcharmy player. So that's a big thing to think about out here. Preparing for the next tier 0 Snake Eyes format. Realistically, we are at the point that we have watched this deck's apex do its thing. At this point in time, Konami's going to start what we like to call the rollback effect here, where they're going to start taking away these pieces. You could have a very, very extreme take out here, like what they did with tier, and have an already crazy deck, and you just add in things like the Millers that, at the point of being released, just blew that deck wide open. I don't foresee there being anything in the Snake Eyes department to push this deck over that threshold and give Konami a chance to keep pushing it anymore. But, once again, this is all, we're heading on into very much a triangle format. It feels like you have look, I'm TN now. You're heading very much into that triangle format where, you have Yubel at the top, Snake Eyes on the side piece, and that's where, are all these decks actually just tier 0? No, they're very much tier 1. So, answer the question, is Snake Eyes worth it to pick up for the long term? I'm going to say no, because reprints are coming, and that's a pretty big thing. Now, what about Tempai? Tempai is the third piece of the mystical triangle here that we have to deal with in terms of this. Genroku is coming in Infinite Forbidden, and it's a Pobbler, it's a free special summon. It can modify itself to be a tuner. You can level mod it. This card does insane things, and I don't think people, I guess, have truly grasped this. But one big thing on the Tempai side of things, the OCG did limit the field spell. One big thing to consider out here is this deck is based on Mahjong, and that's a pretty important thing to think about. That means that if it's just one hand in Mahjong, there's more support coming, technically, right? And this is a big thing to consider out here. While Snake Eyes is on the decline and Yubel's on the power speed up to the top up here, with a possibility of more support right behind it, Tempai is in a fantastic position to continuously get more support as these sets are going through. And that's a very scary thing to talk about out here. While, you did do a rollback on the field spell to kind of tone down the power of the deck, it's not to say that the next 2 to 3 things that Konami will throw at this deck might not possibly break it. And that's another scary thing to talk about out here. Yubel might not be done with support. Tempai, I don't foresee being done because the combo is just 2 Mahjong pieces, and there's so much more to the world of that. So I can see more coming. That's why they chose to limit the field spell when they did, to kind of dial back that power, because they're just going to throw more Tempai cards at the screen. So maybe in terms of preparing for the next Tier 0 format here, Tempai might be on your radar, not only as the ignorant buster deck out here for if you do see the field spell, you're able to kind of go through all of these different lines of play and things like that, but those are some major things to consider out here. So it looks like we've already gotten who we want to win Worlds this year, but looking beyond Worlds into the later half of the year, all 3 of these decks, even though I don't really like Snake Eyes as a pickup, I believe there will still be some incarnation of it. I believe all 3 of these are worth keeping an eye on for the long term. So please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. Don't forget to check out the sponsor down below, and I will see your beautiful faces back here later today, guys. Peace out. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.